So, like in Web3 and in the metaverse space, it also enables the opportunity for individual creator.
We are here putting our 100%, and then we have other collaborators and artists coming in, putting their 100%.
Well, the collaboration happened, thanks to the unlimitlessness of Web3 and literally the metaverse.
Hi everyone, it's Joy and Salimi once again on another episode of NewForum, and we're always excited to bring you inspiring and brilliant guests on our podcast. We are powered by NewCoin Foundation and focus on fostering the expansion of decentralized social applications, also known as Social 3.0, by forming an ecosystem and a community of visionaries, creators, and investors to spark conversations on the topics of crypto, the metaverse, NFTs, and everything Web3.
And on this episode, we're super honored to have OnClickCloset.NFT. OnClickCloset is an emerging digital fashion house based in India. We have Paridhi and Gadha, who are the co-founders of OnClickCloset, and collaborating with Iana, who is a digital fashion designer from the Netherlands. We'll be chatting with them about digital fashion, fashion NFTs, and other expressions of fashion in the Web3 space. Hey guys, we're super excited. Or maybe I should say, hey girls. We're super excited to have this, power girl team on this episode. And I'm curious to know the founding story of OnClick NFT.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us here. I'm just loving the vibe of, girls in the Web3, like we five are talking here. It's been so great. Yeah, so me and Gadha studied and graduated together from London Kingston University as fashion designers. While I was exploring different mediums after my graduation, because everyone was in the house, COVID period was there. So at that time, I was experimenting a lot about our opportunities in fashion industry and how far sustainable I can go with my work, because I'm a hardcore, follower of sustainable fashion, and I don't want to do anything that causes the environment one. So I was exploring and working with other brands also. Like at that time, Gadha was also working with other brands, and we kept sharing our failures and our achievements. Like, okay, this is not working out for me. This is not working for you. And that's how we kept sharing our, adventure journey. Like after graduation, you have something like you want to have a job, you want to do something, you have so much spark, and that's what we also had. So I kept sharing my digital journal as I started my own. Like after graduation, I spent a lot of time in learning digital softwares, how people can make digital such pretty garments, and such realistic garments, I would say. So that's where I found my interest, and as I told Gadha everything about it, that time she jumped in, and that was the time we both lost our hearts to digital fashion.
Exactly. So that we kept, like Paridhi said, we kept sharing each other's experiences in fashion. In me personally, I was working on digital collages in creating artworks around fashion. And we kept on sharing our experiences with brands and our own experiences and what we can come about with what we had. So Paridhi was experimenting with the softwares, and I was in the back researching about digital fashion experiences and how one can dress up in virtually through the virtual tailors and AR filters, all those things I was exploring side by side. And slowly and gradually, we both aligned our interests together in this field. And we went a step further looking for making NFTs and artworks. So initially, the OnClickCloset was put out as across several platforms to start experimenting with the 3D software garments. But then we thought we should give it a meaning by adding the facility of providing fashion experiences, like how we provide with virtual fits, AR filters, and all these things can come in together in one tree. So, and that's how we both joined in and started working on fashion collections. So our first fashion collection was in DressX. And before we go to the part where we, talk about all our platforms, the main idea of OnClickCloset, even in the name, was that in one click, you get access to all the garments. So that was the basic idea behind the name as well. So, and then, we started from there, and then it kept going on and on and on. That's the basic, story behind OnClickCloset.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much for sharing your story. And now I'm curious to know, how did Iana came into the picture? Like, how did this collaboration come into place?
Well, the collaboration happened, thanks to the unlimitlessness of Web3 and literally the metaverse. I wouldn't like, to say that the internet is the same thing as the metaverse, but, as we all stepped in the digital fashion space, the collaboration became extremely easier. And we've been working on the same project with the girls for one of our clients. And I was the fashion designer for my client and the manager looking for, for help. And that was extremely easy, to find Paridhi, because she OnClickCloset was super, proactive, helping other projects. And we clicked, literally there was just one click which we needed. And Paridhi said, look, girl, do you actually create NFTs? And I had minted one NFT back then. And I said, well, I do. And I had sketches in my desk, which I was about to create the collection, but I didn't have all the resources needed. I didn't have the courage, and I was looking for a collaboration. And this is how it just all came together. I had the idea for the collection, which we needed to create. There was a big project that was blown into the unproportionate, proportions in the end. That was like, now it's the biggest project of our lives, probably. But yes, this is how it happened. And for 3 months, we've been working every day, side by side with the girls on our Seafoam collection.
Nice. Yeah, I can see Seafoam on the screen, and I'm quite excited and looking forward to seeing it. And I'm also wondering, what do you ladies think about this whole concept of digital fashion? Why is it so important? I mean, we already have the conventional, fashion industry, right? So why is digital fashion very important, I guess, at this point in our lives?
Well, it's a very emerging area, right? Digital fashion, and there is very little information about this. So thank you that you asked this question. Why is it important? Because it is important. And as I believe that mostly digital fashion designers come from the actual physical fashion sphere, and we do come from there for a reason, because we've seen things, we've experienced things, we've seen how even the most sustainable factories produce stuff and clothes, and how many they are there on the market. So usually digital fashion designers come to digital fashion for sustainability reason, for the new user experience reason, and of course for the decentralized economy, right? So this is what gives us the financial freedom of creating, not being scared not to pay your bills. And yes, absolutely, to earn in crypto. Well, digital fashion as a notion right now, it's not a substitution to real fashion. It's the addition to it. And I believe in the future, we will have 50-50 share. Of course, we still need clothes to wear, but the share of the digital fashion will increase, and brands will go on with the production, of the customized experience. And more brands will actually start launching their items as NFTs, and the value of a digital fashion NFT wearable will definitely increase, and it will become tangible, right? Because right now people say well, I can't touch digital fashion, hence it's not the actual thing, right? But this is digital fashion is important. It's sustainable. It gives us the same emotions. Yes, wearing a digital cloth and posting it on Instagram releases the same amount of happiness for a user as actually, going to a store to shop for a new clothes, to post a picture, to get your likes, right? And this is for the users. But for the brands, of course, digital fashion means new audiences, better connection, better communication, and brands can actually gain, more popularity using digital fashion, because it's a very, very popular sphere among Generation Z, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. And, like how Iana said a lot of things here. And one more thing is that the fashion, we often tend to associate fashion just with clothes and the physical materials which is in our hand. So we can go beyond that. We can explore various, the crazy ideas which we have in our mind when it comes to, fashion, like express ourselves limitlessly. So that is something that even brands can, take forward, and as well as people who are willing to step into fashion likewise.
I mean, you guys are stepping into the right moment. You are a representation of what Web3 can collaboration look like. And I'm wondering, with OnClick NFT, like, did you see like the fashion commerce evolving, and how do you want to step in there and fill this gap that is kind of like there right now? And I'm wondering, what do you think are like the future models for fashion commerce?
As I said, the fashion commerce will change drastically thanks to digital fashion, because even right now we see that people want to have absolutely personalized approach. And it started many years ago with the fact that we want to give as personal experience as possible. But right now it comes to the point when people don't want to come anywhere. They want to sit home and they want to have their, laptop or phone in their hand and scroll for perfect match, for a perfect t-shirt. So the future of fashion commerce will be that people upload their avatars real, we have a scanner, maybe like, an iPhone scanner of a 3D body. We upload it and we have, perfect fit on our personalized avatar. And this is also going, you need to digitalize your clothes for that. So this is going to be one part of digital fashion commerce. And the second interaction, of course, is that the product will be always augmented by an NFT chip code, invitation card, like you will always be maybe having you will always maybe. So I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but I believe that people will create items with an additional NFT to it, that in the future, when you go to a party in the metaverse, you can wear this digital fashion item.
Exactly. And what I'd like to add on is with the aspect of how, in digital fashion, you can contribute to reducing the kind of emissions that occurs in the production phase, and reduce the amount of water that goes into waste. For sampling, so to see certain designs, you do a lot of prototyping. So all these things are facilitated by 3D softwares itself. So once you have that services provided to brands, they can rely on it to go down with the kind of emissions produced at the production stage, and so much more in terms of commerce, like how virtually you fit into a garment, you get that experience of already wearing the garment on your body. You know the fit, you know everything accurately. So it helps largely in the fashion for commerce.
You can already witness this, how it happens with sneakers. So I believe that sneakers market is actually, the pioneer of digital fashion market in this in its development, because sneakers are the easiest to apply with a digital filter, yes, with the AR filter, and sneakers have somehow the best value among the people who collect sneakers. And the whole collections of physical sneakers actually got into the digital space. So this is really an example which will happen to heels, I believe, to jewelry, to t-shirts, to jackets, to all those items which can be easily applied to via AR technology.
Correct. As how this whole sneakers things came, I would like to then go back to how the whole idea of digital fashion also came forward. How it basically started because of game skins. And when game skins, people started purchasing them, so many, 3D artists and designers, they came in and started exploring with the software. So I think the first ever digital garment as a piece, as a ensemble, was produced by 2014 or something, I guess. And that was the time, like no one was aware of this whole technology. We knew about virtual fits. It never came into commerce as such. And now we are in a stage where these things are put into use, not in large perspective, but what we can also see is that in future these have a wide range of possibilities to bring in so much value in terms of how we can view fashion. Yeah,
I think it's so incredible to witness this moment in time right now that we are in, and seeing you guys being from India and the Netherlands, like finding solutions for these problems and really like taking advantage of that. Because I don't know what it is, but I feel like especially from India, there's so many people coming up with solutions and ways to fix things. And I think that's really just amazing to see women entrepreneurs strive in the space. And like you said, the market, I think, is just going to grow and grow. And the more it will be adaptable on platforms, the more it will be used in the daily life, I think the more we will get used to it. And I think that's really great. Maybe what do you think this can enable for individual creators around the world, let's say individual fashion designers around the world? Like what can these tools and like these opportunities do with their work and their lives?
So seeing it from the perspective of an artist or a digital artist or a digital fashion designer, it becomes very important, and with ease one can connect across the globe and start getting their individual identity, sell their work and gain the profit to themselves in a quite a decentralized manner. So that becomes more about the individual than about a whole brand alone. And there are like infinite possibilities of how creative we can be and how much we can produce. A Web3 creator can produce like maybe whatever they have in their mind, the imaginations they had, the kind of stories they build on, the artworks they do, everything they can put it together and try out in the digital using the softwares multiple times. And it will take lesser time compared to the time and effort you put on physically.
Yeah, that's how like when Gadha and I put out our first collection, it was Mars Gateway. So we are fan of Marvel movies and Marvel series. So we just thought, we had the idea, if we ever go to Mars, what the costume would be for the party on the Mars. So like in the first collection, we transform because if you go on the Mars, you'll need to have the oxygen tank with you. So we kind of designed the oxygen tank in so pretty and so stylish way that it brings life to life on the Mars, in the party mode on the Mars. So that's how we bring in the fantasy and unexplored ideas, unexplored thoughts in the metaverse so easily. And in terms of, as like you said, India is always producing country for every other country, every other brands come in India. So like in Web3 and in the metaverse space, it also enables the opportunity for individual creator to take their own stand, to have the freedom of growing solely, rather than binding yourself with big brands and working under them and following orders. Rather than here, you can you have your own individual personality over in the different communities. You can have your self expression everywhere as you want it. So that's what the biggest thing I think which Web3 space gave us. And I found it like as Gadha and I joined together, like while passing out from the college, we didn't know anything about digital fashion. So digital fashion and the metaverse gave us everyday new opportunity to upskill ourselves, Like some people find upskilling themselves very difficult every day, but I find it very interesting because every day you wake up, you have new things to do, you have new people to contact to, you have new energy to put into new work. So the idea of upskilling, it goes unintentionally with you. When you connect to three different peoples, you learn three different things. Like we have learned so much, like talking to Ian, like what's the weather is, what's the different thing is. It won't be possible if I would have working for some other brands under them, sitting under the table. So even like right now I'm sitting under the table like for 3 years, but I have so much gain. I have connected a lot of people that I have idea internationally, like how people are doing in different areas. And about the software, I started with Glow 3D and Gadha with Photoshop. Now we know, I guess, 5 or 6 softwares very perfectly. So that's the opportunity to upskill and learn ourselves and improve our skills is the best in Web3, I guess.
This is actually crazy what you've just noticed about the speed which a creator develops herself or himself. When did you start, girls? I believe you started in December last year, didn't you?
2021 last
2021. I started this year with the digital fashion itself, right? We're not talking about the fundamental traditional background in fashion, but things go so fast because first of all, the information is so accessible, right? So everyone shares. I've experienced so many moments when we follow each other, all digital fashion designers, and for example, you start noticing something very interesting, like, wow, how did you do that? Oh, I will tell you. And there is like the whole, workshop coming in your conversation, and everyone is willing to share as much, as they've got. So for example, like I've had so many calls when designers would just literally share their screens and it's like, okay, follow me. And I learned the totally new software in half an hour just because best of the best are teaching me for free, just because we are all interested in building this community, because better community means better products mean that we all attract better NFT buyers.
Yeah, so that's what Iana said, that community building is equally important in Web3, because like who would have thought that I may connect to 10 different people from globally, 10 different age groups, 10 different genders, and probably when you connect and grow together, there's always an opportunity to create your own family here. So like we are far away, but somehow we are connected. We understand each other's thoughts, we understand the process, we understand the outcome, we understand the failures. So I guess what's more important and what's more pretty than this, like doing some sewing some garments in the physical world. So Web3 is amazing. People are amazing. Connections are emerging and amazing and, supportive. So that's so great.
That's amazing. I think the next step is you ladies meet in person, IRL. As you ladies were talking, you mentioned the metaverse a lot, and I'm curious to know what metaverse are you referring to? Because this idea or this notion of a metaverse is kind of like, there isn't necessarily one definition, I guess. Like everybody has their own way of explaining or describing the metaverse. So if you can tell me which metaverse you're referring to and how has that impacted your work?
Actually, it's fantastic time to answer this question, because you said, well, girls, you actually can meet up in real life. And I wanted to add, we actually did, but it was in the metaverse world.
Okay.
So that was something. Yeah, this line which doesn't exist kind of for me anymore, because I felt we were in the same space. We were participating in the Raw DAO Metaverse fashion show, and we had the installation there, the exhibition of our upcoming Seafoam NFTs. And we were there with Paridhi. She was there, I was there. So, we talked, we walked around, and this is what the metaverse is for us. So our clients ask us, but what is the metaverse? Is it the link? Is it a sandbox world? Is it Decentraland? And we really want to tell them that the metaverse is the feeling that when you actually exist really in the virtual reality. So it's like, reality of unreal things, reality of digital space. This is the best. So yes, and this is the metaverse for us. And as I've explained, the whole experience of getting in touch, seeing each other, and seeing the exhibitions, yes, in the metaverse with VR goggles or with the PC. This is what the metaverse is for us, and it's the communities which build it. It's the the availability of information, the decentralized financing. This is all what creates Web3 for us.
Yeah, I guess it's the perfect place for interaction. If even if you are lazy or not, okay, it's the place to have more fun, to have more new things surrounded by you than in the actual world. So if you are in the metaverse, you can see more than you are in the physical world sitting there. So that's the metaverse, is that's the place of interaction virtually, but it's real. It's not virtual anymore, because the interactions, if you say formal or informal, doesn't matter. The interactions are so realistic that in your heart you feel that touch. You feel the digital touch. Essence the you can imagine the fragrance of over the meta in the metaverse. You could have imagined the look of other people, and then the night time in the metaverse and the sunrise in the metaverse. So that's how it is going to be realistic and coming.
It's nice to hear your perspective. I think that's, this concept of IRL, like being in the real life and digital. Would you say that there's no need to meet in the real life because of the experience you ladies had in the metaverse? Would you say that was like more than enough? Because I personally think that the metaverse, this is just my opinion, is like an extension or enhancing our like physical lives, right? And so, yeah, I guess I'm curious to know, do you ladies think that, okay, we met in the metaverse, it felt really great, and like, that's it, we don't need to meet in real life?
No, I totally, Paridhi already said like, hey girl, when are you coming to India, right?
Okay.
When are you booking your tickets? And as for our jobs, as for our digital fashion, we're absolutely fine, to have our exhibition in the metaverse. But as for our personal connections, as for our personal journey, of course, we want to meet in real life. And I'm saying, come to the Netherlands, right? And I want to go to India. And this is going to be, otherwise we wouldn't ever see each other if not, the communication between digital fashion designers and opportunity to work online. So of course, I would say like metaverse communication is definitely better than no communication, right? Business in the metaverse and products made in the metaverse are great, right? Otherwise they wouldn't have been produced. But of course, it is an extension to our lives. It's not a substitution. I believe we will meet up with girls, even maybe for business somewhere on NFT conference, right, anywhere in India, in Europe. But we don't have to produce our designs in real life. Moreover, they wouldn't even be able to be produced in real life. Communication will be totally real.
So like I totally understand that people feel like, okay, we met in the metaverse and we don't want to see each other again. So everyone need to understand that real life connections will always differ from the digital connections. But you see the starting of these connections via digital connections only. Okay, so it's more powerful that the digital connection can join us in the digital space as well as in physical space. So it works both ways. That's the power Web3 holds, that okay, Web3, I'm the Web3, I'm allowing you to meet Iana and you guys from different era. But if you made the strong connection here, then I'd definitely go somewhere to the Netherlands to meet her. So that's how the foundation comes from the digital thing, and then it leads to the physical connections also.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, I think I like this. This sounds wonderful to me. I'm excited that, definitely, I feel like Web3 definitely opens up opportunities, because imagine, there are people all over the world who might never have the chance to travel because of immigration and visa stuff. It's not so easy to just get a visa. And, especially when you're in maybe some Asian countries or African countries, you don't just easily get a visa, right? So it sort of limits a lot of creators. But Web3, the metaverse, gives this opportunity, right, to digitally create and to interact, to communicate. So I think that's really amazing. And I'm also like wondering, what do you girls think about the onboarding challenges? Have you thought about that, like onboarding challenges in Web3 and in digital fashion in general? Perhaps maybe your own experiences or people who you know who have tried to get into the space.
Yes, definitely. We have a lot of examples when people were frustrated with digital fashion. And you know that, of course, digital fashion is very much powered by the blockchain technology. And where the blockchain technology is, there are a lot of scammers, there are a lot of misunderstandings. Like, you know, like this part is kind of challenging for us to actually separate digital fashion and the rest, what's going on the internet, right? So like this mistrust about everything digital. And the second part is, of course, that the technology is not that up to date. So we are like, yeah, we are using a certain amount of softwares, but we need bigger platforms, better platforms, and decentralized platforms to actually support our stuff. So, you know, like the metaverse software where you create the worlds, it's not optimal yet, right? Like guys who create, for example, Neos software, they need support, right? Like they need a lot of money. But at the same time, we have Meta, which stands for the metaverse, but sorry, it's not decentralized. It's just difficult, right? To like the whole process in their company, it obstructs them from creating a good product, right? Like, sorry, yeah, for being too critical on Meta, but yeah, we need more technology, for example, to create filters. You know, like the majority of people who love fashion are on Instagram, but at the same time, Instagram doesn't provide enough technology to create proper filters. So it's all very interconnected, and the mistrust leads to small funding. Yeah, the lack of education, the lack of awareness about digital fashion leads to people, brands hesitating going in. But yeah, we are trying our best, you know, to promote this awareness, to talk to our clients, to actually construct the marketing strategies, to create the plans, the roadmaps, to, you know, to make it all done, and that they actually enter the digital fashion and they get the traction and they get the audience and they get their clients, you know, and the idea in their clients get the idea of digital fashion. That's the most important part.
So quickly, who are your clients?
These are the brands. They are either big brands who are having, you know, Generation Z/millennial target audience. Yes, people who want to experiment, and they say, well, we want to keep up with everything what's going on, right? So these kind of keep uppers, they are our audience. The next part is that luxurious ateliers, luxurious brands, small brands, big brands. This luxurious sector, they want to surprise their clientele, and they surprise them with exclusivity and the digital market, and this adds extra exclusivity, right? So for example, it's either clothing or jewelry or accessories. So, you know, mostly these kind of people.
If I talk particularly about India, so in India you will see more of, you know, people who comes for sampling process. Like as I told, India is a producing country for every other fabric, every other, you know, clothing item. People are brands and people are getting their hands on the digital fashion softwares who eliminates the process of sampling, like where you can, you know, utilize your patterns, utilize your time on, you know, managing the patterns. Okay, this fabric is gonna be used in such meters or such, you know, in kgs, and this is the price range it's gonna fit in. So going to the physical sampling process, brands and, you know, small scale industries and then, you know, export houses are trying to get their process into digital manner, in terms of, you know, eliminating physical sampling process. So that's the biggest evolution for the brands, because these brands don't have courage and don't have that facility to just jump and shift to digital fashion right now, because their customer audience is pretty much set. Their target audience is like the physical clothes wear people, so they can't just move a big shift to digital industry. But I believe in the coming era, they will definitely get their clients and get their that opportunity to wear digital as well, because they are also understanding how these things work, because they have their mindset, they have put 30, 40, 50 years in the industry, only developing sketches from hands, cutting patterns from scissors. So it's very hard to adopt these new change, and the market is ongoing. The market and the industries are never stopping. So that's the challenge for the brands as well. But I believe for the brands and for if I talk about, there are a lot of export houses in India who works pretty well. So for them, I believe the opportunity is standing straight to give new things to their customers, to give them the education, to give them the knowledge. Okay, this is something happening. So you focus 90% on a physical aspect of company, but you can put out 10% of digital fashion, because I believe that this is the future. Like my kids are like Iana's kids are, I don't know, but they are gonna be living the screens. They will have solid opportunity to earn in the metaverse, to live their life in the metaverses, to have friends in the metaverses. So that's the industry we are majorly building for our own, and the next generation is going to come.
If we go back like 10 years before, 20 years before, we didn't even have e-commerce in our world. We now so many brands, smaller brands, everyone are coming in, already putting out their work. It's not just major businesses that who are selling their things online. Small brands, small businesses, they are coming to Instagram to start their businesses. So that is one opportunity which grew over the years. And at this point of time, we are all at the stage of developing this idea and bringing it forward. And we believe that in this growing space, it takes its own time, but we are here putting our 100%, and then we have other collaborators and artists coming in, putting their 100%. And I think that we are absolutely enjoying the space where we are experimenting and pushing each other here to develop further. And this only makes our the digital world around us better, as in like how Iana told about the scammers and how fake profiles are created over social media and everything. This here we have that opportunity to be in real, see the person. Those kind of mishaps can be reduced to a larger extent, I guess.
So it's where comes the opportunity for the creators also to educate more and more people. Like me and Gadha always try to let people wear our garments sometimes for free, also to just understand the experience of virtual fits, like how we wear the virtual garments. So it's the motive is also just not for the earn money. Okay, we also want to create industry, create a community, especially in India, where people are suffering from they don't have you won't believe it, they don't have shelter on their heads. It's because they are working for such silly brands who are not paying them enough, and I don't want to do that. So that's why I came to digital fashion, and I want them to give the shelter with their own freedom. So if whenever I would be able to teach them the digital fashion things, I would gladly do that, because I want them to be free in their creativity, because every other person I feel is creative here. Just they need to light up their spark in their minds and in their hearts. And that's the responsibility of creator and already in Web3 brands that educate more and more about I don't know how you can do that, but anyway possible you can do that in lot many ways. So I guess that's fun, that's exciting and thrilling.
It's really exciting. I think that's Iana, you mentioned Meta, and I think that there's that happening, and then there's the Web3 kind of metaverse happening. And we definitely have the responsibility to make it more ethical and make sure like we keep all the, I would say, Web3 ethos, right? The principles that we hold them strongly, and we just want to make it we want to make the world a better place for our children, like you said, because it is a bit scary. Like like in a few years, in a couple of years to come, most of us will be glued to the screen. Our children will be living through or on the screen, and so we want to make it a safe space for them. And I think that like the digitization of fashion is also very important in terms of like reducing waste and everything, and like you said, education. And I think that you ladies being on NewForum is already telling so much about your values, because you are educating in some way, you are sharing your experiences, and this is how people are gonna learn more about what's going on. I'm glad that you ladies get to be a part of the narrative, get to shape the space, and I really thank you all so much for being a part of this podcast. And I don't know if you have some last words you want to share with our community and just people who might come across this video.
So first of all, really glad to be having here in NewForum and sharing our experiences and all the knowledge we had. And we have been really. It was really a great time here speaking about it. And one thing we would like to tell everyone about this digital fashion is, you can come forward and start experiencing this whole thing. It's nothing new. There is nothing difficult or any major science to break through when you have to use it. So you can slowly start with the little things, accessories, all these things. So when we also see the kind of engagement happening, and we can gear up on making more and more creative, fun elements for the people around. So yes, we would definitely want people to come forward and get into this space as soon as they can.
I have a point to add in that. Gadha said it right. Like on OnClickCloset, me and Gadha are open to connect to everyone and discuss and talk about Web3. And here I will gladly say that I achieved a milestone here, because when we started in February, first week of February, I remember, I was looking for some podcast and everything. And then in the month of February, I followed NewForum and I found it. And I thought that within the 6 months, I want to be here. I want to be talking about Web3 and digital fashion, because
Amazing.
there weren't so many people who were talking about it. And I found you guys very, very efficient, because you are continuously engaging with a lot of other people. And I guess I believe I am just left to listen your 2 or 3 more episodes, because every other night, like twice in a week, I listen to one of your podcasts. So that's the milestone I achieved here. And I don't know if I'll be connecting here again with some new information someday, when we'll grow more and we connect with lot other people. I would definitely join you guys again. And please, OnClickCloset always welcomes everyone. Just to have any query about digital fashion, you want to talk, discuss, or give us the feedback also, we'd love to have. Thank you. Thanks for having us here.
Yes, and I will wrap up this fantastic session. Yes, thank you, Salimi. Thank you, Joe, who's left us for this, because this is what we need, right? To actually help other people. Girls have their, traditional fashion background, but they also self-taught in digital fashion. I'm generally self-taught fashion designer and digital fashion designer. So we've taken a lot from the community, right? Like all the information which we absorbed and we are absorbing every day, but we are at a certain point when we actually want to give back. And please literally just reach to us. And apart from creating our designs, jewelry, AR filters, we also give a lot. We try to give free materials, free prints for you to create. We try to give a lot of free digital accessories, right? So this is what we are always willing to do. And of course, yes, we will be trying to educate as much as possible with behind the scenes videos, with the process, screen recordings, right? So this is which we invite you to, right? Welcome to the world of sharing and caring.
I like that. Also, where can they find you? Where should they look for you on your social platform?
Instagram.
They can have us on Instagram and Twitter as well. Like it's OnClickCloset.NFT.
And mine is Iana.v.a.
Perfect. Thank you, ladies, so very much. This was
Lily.
amazing. We were very insightful, and I'm all about like collaboration and diversity. And I love that we got to record this together. And I'm looking forward to, like Paridhi said, maybe another episode in the future when you ladies are going to showcase something else. Thank you all so much for being a part of today's forum. If you want to get more involved in our community, make sure to follow us on our social platforms. IG is newcoin.nco and our website is newcoin.org. We also have a Discord group, and we will have all the links in the description, as well as OnClick NFTs, Instagram, and Iana's handle as well. We'll have everything in the description, and we will see you in the next episode. Thank you, guys. Bye for now.